Hello everyone, I hope all are doing good. In this lecture, I'm going to solve one question based on pipelining concept. Question has been asked in GATE 2009. So let's solve this question. First, try to understand this question. In this question, a pipeline architecture is given, which is having four stages. This is four-stage pipeline, S1, S2, S3, and S4. And there are four instructions, I1, I2, I3, and I4 are given. These instructions I1, I2, I3, and I4 in stages S1, S2, S3, and S4 these many of machine cycle. So I1 in S1 taking two cycles, in S2 taking one cycle, in S3 taking one cycle, and S4 taking one cycle. Similarly, I2 taking 1, 3, 2 cycles in S1, S2, S3, and S4. Similarly, I3 and I3. Now one small loop is given which is executing for value I is equal to 1 to I is equal to 2. That means this loop is executing 2 times and the body of the loop is containing all these four instructions I1, I2, I3 and I. The meaning is these four instructions will be executed twice and they are asking the total number of required cycles to execute this loop. Let's discuss. Let's say if I am taking these instructions in one side, so these four instructions and for I is equal to 1 and again the four instructions for I is equal to 2, right? So for the first iteration of the loop and second iteration, these four instructions. And this side I am taking the machine cycles. And this is for the reference I am taking the same table so that we can have an idea which instruction is taking how many cycles. So initially we shift I1 to stage 1. Let me change the color. Let's say I1 to stage 1. And I1 in stage 1 will be for 2 machine cycles. So it will be in cycle 1 and cycle 2. I1 will be in stage 1 only. Until and unless I1 will move to stage 2 or it will done its work in stage 1, I2 cannot be pushed to stage 1 in pipeline. So after this, once I1 is shifted to stage 2 in machine cycle 3, I2 can be shifted or pushed through machine cycle, or you can say pipeline in stage 1. Now in stage 1, I2 require only one cycle. In stage 2, I will require only one machine cycle. So it will be shifted to stage 3 and this will be shifted to stage 2. Once I2 is shifted to stage 2, we can push I3 in stage 1. Right? So in stage 1, I3 in stage 1 will consume 2 machine cycles. So I am writing it. I2 in stage 2 consume 3 machine cycle, S2 and S2, 3 machine cycle, here it is. And I3 in stage 3, not I3, I1 in stage 3, I1 in stage 3 was consuming only 1, so it has been shifted to stage 4 here. And after that it has been ended. So because stage 4, I1 is taking only 1 cycle, so it has been done in by the end of machine cycle 5, instruction 1 is executed. Right? So now in cycle 6, I2 is in stage 2 and I3 need to be shifted to stage 2, but stage 2 is busy with I2. So this cannot be moved to stage 2. But because I3 was requesting only 2 machine cycle, so the machine cycle assembly is available, we can shift I4 here in stage 1. Because I3 was consuming only 2 cycles, in stage 1. So it has been done with stage 1, it is waiting for stage 2. Right? So here we can push I4 in stage 1. In stage 1 I4, require only one machine cycle. After 3 cycles, I2 will be shifted to stage 3. Once it will be shifted to stage 3, this I3 will be shifted to stage 2. And I4, because it was requesting only one cycle in stage 1, will be shifted to stage no. So it is requesting, although it is requesting only machine cycle 1, but because it is busy, it cannot be shifted here. But the working or functioning of stage I4 in stage 1 is done. So here we can shift I1 in stage 1 again for I is equal to 2, right? For second iteration, I1 will be shifted to stage 1 again. And I1 will keep on in stage 1 for 2 machine cycle. I1 will be in stage 1 only here. Now if we talk about I2 in stage 3, I2 in stage 3 was taking 2 cycle, I2 in stage 3, 2 cycles, still in stage 3. And I3 in stage 2, I3 in stage 2 was taking 1 cycle, but it cannot move ahead because this I2 is still in stage 3. Now because this S2 is done, S2, this I3 is done with S2 because it was just consuming 1 cycle there. So this S1 can be shifted to S2 here. Although this I3 is not able to shift to S3, but this S2 assembly was available, so this I4 has been shifted to S2 here, right? Now in machine cycle 9, what will happen? After the execution of 2 machine cycle in S3, I2 will be shifted to S4. I2 will be shifted to S4 and it will be in S4 for 2 machine cycle because it required 2 machine cycle in S4. I2. Once it has been shifted to S4, then this I3 will be shifted to S3 here, right? So once this I3 has been shifted to S3, then this I4 in S2 was consuming 2 machine cycles. It is still in S2. And I1 in S1 was consuming 2 machine cycles, so it cannot move ahead. But this S1 assembly is available, so I2 has been shifted in S1. Right? Now look at here. In S3, I3 in S3 consume only 1 cycle, but it cannot move ahead because S4 is busy. But this S3 is available, so after consuming 2 machine cycle in I4 in S2 consume 2 machine cycle, it will be shifted to S3 here. Now once it will be shifted to S3, from this S1, S2, I1 will be shifted. And I2 in S1 was requesting only 1 machine cycle, so it will be shifted to, it should be shifted to S2, but S2 is not available here. It will not be shifted to S2. But S1 assembly is available, so I3 can be pushed to S1. Right? So I3 in S1 will consume 2 machine cycles, so it will be in S1 here. Now look at here. After 2 machine cycle, I2 will be ended. Now once this I2 will be over, this I3 will be shifted to S4. Once I3 has been shifted to S4 and I4 and S3 was requesting 2 machine cycle. It was in S3 only here, right? And this S2, I1 in S2 was requesting only 1 cycle, but it cannot move to S3. But this this I2 can be switched to S2 here because S2 assembly is available, right? Now look at the cycle 12. In cycle 12, I3 will still be in S4 and it will be in S4 because I3 requiring 3 machine cycle in S4. So I4 in S3 requires I4 in S3 requires 2 cycles, but it cannot move to S4. But here, this I1 can be shifted from S2 to S3, right? So once it has been shifted to S2 to S3, I2 in S2, I2 in S2 require 3 machine cycles. It will still be in S2 and here also it will be in S2. I3 in S1, I3 in S1 requiring 2 machine cycles, but it cannot be moved to S2. But here we will be able to push I4 in S1. I4 and S1 require 1 cycle, right? But it cannot shift it to S2 because S2 is still busy. Here I1 in S3, I1 in S3 requiring 1 machine cycle, but it cannot shift it to S4, right? Now after this 3 cycle, S3 will be ended. After S3 will be ended, this I3 will be ended, this I4 will be shifted from S3 to S4. Now it is in S4. And once this I4 has been shifted to S4, this I1 has been completed as S3, but it cannot move to S4, right? This I2 has been done with S2, so it can move to S3 here, okay, because S3 assembly is available. And once this I2 has been moved to S3, this I3 can be shifted to S2. And once it has been shifted to S2, this S1 stage, I4 is waiting in the S1, but still S2 is not available, so it cannot be shifted. Right? Now, once I4 consume 2 cycles in S4, so by the cycle of 15, I4 will be ended, right? So till this will not be able to shift to S4, and I2 in S3 will require 2 cycles. It is still in S3, and I3 in S2 require only 1 cycle, but it cannot move to S3, and I4 in S1 was requesting only 1 cycle, so here it can move to S2 because S2 is available here. Now because I4 is ended here, now this I1 can be shifted to S4. Once I1 has been shifted to S4, after 2 machine cycle, I2 can be shifted from S3 to S4, but S4 is busy, so it will not be. But now S3 assembly is available, so this I3 will be shifted to S3, right? And I3 will be in S3 for only 1 machine cycle. Once it is shifted to S3, this I4 in S2 require 2 machine cycle. It is still in S2 here. Now look at I1 and S4, it will be ended by cycle 16 because it was requesting only 1 machine cycle. Once it has been ended, this I2 will be shifted to S4. Once I2 has been shifted to S4, this I3 was requesting only 1 cycle in S3. So It is about to shift in S4, but it cannot. This S3 assembly is available. This I4, after completing 2 cycle in S2, it will be shifted to S3 here. I2 in S4, I2 in S4 will consume 2 machine cycle. So this still cannot be moved to S4. And I4 in S3, I4 in S3 will consume 2 machine cycle. Now by the end of 18 cycle, I2 will be ended. Once I2 will finish, I3 will be shifted to S4. Once I3 is shifted to S4, this I4 is about to shift in S4, but it cannot because S4 is busy here, right? Now look at I3 in S4. I3 in S4 will consume 3 machine cycles, right? So until and unless it will release, this I4 cannot be moved from S3 to S4. So this will be ended by cycle 21. Till then, I4 was waiting. Once it will be ended, the I4 will be shifted to stage 4. And I4 and stage 4 require 2 machine cycles. So it will still consume 1 more machine cycle and then it will be ended. So for the given question, to execute all these I1, I2, I3 and I4 2 times as per the loop, it will consume 23 machine cycles. So the answer for this question will be B, that is 20. Thank you everyone.